Okay, good afternoon everyone. My name is Miss Karen Villavileño, your general chemistry teacher. So our topic for today it's all about the naming of compounds. But before that, let us read first our objectives for today. Number 1, name compounds given their formula and write formulas given the name of the compound. Number 2, practice chemical nomenclature, writing the chemical formulas of ionic compounds and naming ionic compound from the formulas. Okay, so what is ionic compound? Ionic compound is a naturally charged compound that contain cation, which is positive charge, and anion when negative charge ion. Cations are usually metallic or metals, while anions are usually nonmetallic or nonmetals. We have the two types of ions. We have first the monoatomic ion. It is made up of only one atom or element, while polyatomic ion, it is made up of one or more than one atom of different elements. Here are the tables of common some ions and their symbols. We have cations, it has positive charge, and anions with negative charge. Okay, how can we name each of different compound? What are the rules in naming of compounds? So in this part, we need to know the rules in naming the monoatomic and polyatomic ions. Monoatomic ions are named based on the element. So for cations, it is a metal with positive ions. Always remember that it is usually used in the first part of the compound, and its name doesn't change or unchange. If an element can form two ions of different charges, the name is usually derived from its Latin name and modified by their suffixes. So we have the suffix IC and OUS. But how can we apply this? We use IC for the ion with higher charges, and we use OUS for that with the lower charge. For example, we have the zinc ion, magnesium ion, ferric ion or iron 3, and ferrous ion or iron 2. So as you can see in the examples, zinc ion, it contains only with two charges. So with magnesium ion, it has two charges. While in iron 3, it is named with ferric because it has positive charge and it is the higher charges. While in ferrous, we use the suffix OUS because it has only two charges. For anions is usually nonmetals, or it is a negative ion. It is always the second part, and its name change depends by what suffix they will be used. So here we use the suffix IDE. For example, bromide, sulfide ion, oxide ion, and iodide. So they are all non-metals. Several anions are polyatomic and are named based on the atomic constituents and the suffix IDE. Examples, we have hydroxide ion and cyanide ion. Always remember that polyatomic ion, its name doesn't change. So it has a permanent formula. So always remember that the polyatomic ions have their constituents. A number of polyatomic anions containing oxygen atoms are named based on the root word of the central or non-oxygen atom. So in this part of the lesson, we need to know the number of oxygen attached to an element. So we use a suffix ate for one element with more oxygen atoms, while we use ite for one element with less oxygen atom. For examples, we have nitrate ion, nitrite ion, sulfite ion, and sulfate ion. So as you can see in the examples, a nitrate ion, it composed of 1 nitrogen and 3 moles of oxygen. So there are more oxygen attached in nitrogen here. So it is the nitrate ion compound. Next, in the nitrite ion, it composed of 1 nitrogen and 2 moles of oxygen only. While in sulfite ion, it has 1 sulfur and 3 moles of oxygen, while in sulfite ion, it composed of 1 sulfur and 4 moles of oxygen. So as you can see, for oxygen or in sulfate ions, it is more oxygen than sulfite ion. So here are the different examples of polyatomic ions. Always remember that the chemical formula of polyatomic ion is the final or permanent formula. So it doesn't change anymore. Some anions have common names ending with suffix ate. Examples, we have acetate ion and oxalate ion. The composition of the molecule or an ion can be represented by a chemical formula. So you already know what is chemical formula, the types of chemical formula. We have its molecular formula, its structural formula, and its empirical formula. So you already know that. The formula consists of symbols of atoms making up the molecule. Okay, so we have the symbols and the number of atoms here. So we have the molecules inside. So you've already know the structure of that. The next, if there is more than one atom present, a numerical subscript is used. So here are the example. We have the oxygen gas, the water, the sodium hydroxide, the liquid sosa, and we have also the hydrochloric acid. So those are the different examples of polyatomic ion. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you will learn from this lesson. If there's any question, please don't hesitate to ask me. So thank you for watching.